I'm here to discuss the facts on cousin marriage. Should marrying your cousin be legal? There are 26 states that allow first cousins to get married, which means the majority of the people in the United States can marry their cousins. The United States is the only place in the whole entire world that has bans on cousin marriage. Today we're going to talk about the religious views, states that allow, and the restrictions of those who allow cousin marriages, known people who have married their cousin, and risks on conceiving a child with your cousin. According to the National Conference of StateLegislator.org, there are 20 states that have no restrictions on marrying your cousin, including Florida, New York, Georgia, California, and Virginia. Arizona, Illinois, Indiana, Maine, Utah, and Wisconsin are 6 states that do allow cousins to get married, but they do have some restrictions. In Arizona, you both have to be 65 or older, or one is unable to reproduce. In Illinois, if both are 50 or older, and one is unable to reproduce. In Indiana, both have to be 65. In Maine, if a couple obtains a physician's certificate of genetic counseling, they can marry their cousin. In Utah, both of 65 or older, or if both are 55 and one is unable to reproduce. In Wisconsin, if the woman is 55 or one is unable to reproduce. Although there are many states that are coming along to marrying your cousin, there are still a lot of religious beliefs that it is morally wrong to marry your cousin. In Leviticus 18, it lists all of the forbidden sexual relationships, and cousin marriages is not one of them. Throughout the Bible and the Old Testament, God has commanded many cousins to marry. In Genesis 24:12 through 51, Isaac married Rebekah, his first cousin once removed. In Numbers 36, Zelophehad's 5 daughters were commanded by God to marry cousins. Although some may argue that this is the Old Testament and a lot have changed since then, but in the New Testament it does not specifically address the rules of sexual misconduct, with the exception of fornication, other than to refer you back to the Old Testament law. Cousin marriage is not only common back in the Old Testament. Listfirst.com lists 10 famous people who married their cousins. Some of these included Jesse James, who had married his first cousin, that was actually named after Jesse's own mother, and they had 2 kids together. Franklin D. Roosevelt, which was our longest-serving president, married his cousin and had 6 children. Thomas Jefferson married his 3rd cousin and also had 6 children. Albert Einstein married his 2nd cousin, and Charles Darwin, who popularized the theory of evolution, married his first cousin, and they had a total of 10 kids together. With all the children that were conceived, none of them were known to have any defects due to their parents being cousins. According to New York Times, contrary to widely held beliefs and long-standing taboos in America, first cousins can have children together without a great risk of birth defects or genetic disease, scientists are reporting today. In general population, the risk that a child will be born with a serious problem like spina bifida or cystic fibrosis is 3 to 4%. First cousins that have children together must add 1.7 to 2.8% points. This result is still not large enough to discourage cousins from having children. According to Dr. Arno Matulski, a professor of medicine at the University of Washington, in terms of general risk in life, it's not very high. He said even at its worst, it's at 7%. Which means 93% nothing is going to happen. Hearing about these facts and statistics, does it change your point of view about cousin marriage? Could anything change the way you feel about it? In conclusion, cousin marriage is something that has been happening since the Old Testament, and with more and more states coming around to it, it'll continue to happen for years to come. So should it be legal, or should we only marry someone with no relation? Is either of them wrong? These are questions you'll ultimately have to answer for yourself. I hope now you have some facts to at least base your decision on.